Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energy and predictions for the sign of Scorpio for the second quarter of 2025. So this reading will be from April, May, and June. We'll be looking at the next 3 months here. Do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Scorpio, let's go ahead and see what we have going on for you here for the next 3 months of 2025. Do hope things are going well for you, Scorpio. Now, I have turned on memberships on my channel, so you should see a join button. Right now, if you would like to become a member of the channel, it's a simple $2.99 donation to the channel. There are no perks that come along with that, and you are under no obligation to join, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. YouTube has encouraged me to turn on memberships. So I do want to be clear that nothing with the content will change. The content will always remain 100% free. So, all right, so let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up and in view, and we'll get right into it for you. Okay, I think that's looking just about good enough to me for right now. Energy on the bottom, Scorpio, you do have the Seven of Swords. All right, so the Seven of Swords, it can indicate it can indicate deception in the tarot. This person is stealing swords. They're going through the backdoor exit, and they've just stolen something. So the symbolism here is that it can be around deception. It can be around cheating, lying, anything like that. In relationships, like like work relationships, this can be about somebody who likes to stir the pot or cause chaos, drama. In, romantic relationships, it can be about cheating, but we would need to get other confirmations of this. I don't actually see the Three of Swords, or let's see here. I don't see any threes, so I'm not really feeling like cheating would be a good read for this Seven of Swords in particular. The other thing is, like, on a much more positive note, the Seven of Swords may see you over the next 3 months, in one of these months, coming up with like a business plan or a strategy, or coming up with a game plan around something. So let's see what this might be around. First of all, you have a pretty good reading here. There's definitely endings. You do have some challenge spots, but overall you have some pretty good energies here for you in the next quarter. So let's just go ahead and dive into it here. So in the overall position, you do have the Knight of Swords. It's possible that there is an event that's happening that will require you to work off instinct. The idea with the Knight of Swords is, it is true that in life sometimes we have to take an action without having all the data, right? We have to work at the instinctual level instead of trying to fact gather everything and having everything planned out, right? And maybe this is why the Seven of Swords is on the bottom. Maybe this is showing up to say, like, you can't strategize or game plan for everything. Like, life throws us curveballs at time, right? With this Knight of Swords in the middle. It can represent an action that comes into your life swiftly and requires you to kind of just instinctually come up with a solution. Now, the other thing with the Knight of Swords is it can indicate that you want to, on the other end of this, you want to strike while the iron is hot, right? So you have an opportunity in front of you, and you want to seize the opportunity. You want to seize the day when you get the Knight of Swords. So this first column is the month of April. So we're looking at April, second column May, third column June. So in April, we have the Five of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Wands. What an interesting combination of cards here. So the Five of Swords may indicate a loss, and so the Five of Swords on its own may be a loss that is temporary. It says that while you may be seeing something leave or something, departure, there may be a departure in your life in some way, it says that that this is temporary, right? That there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can see the sun rays coming out of the person in the background, indicating that they are down, but they are not out. The thing is, you have the Ten of Swords in May. So we'll talk about that more as we go along. But some of you may be thinking about the end of something, or you may be maybe even ruminating on something that you've had to part with. This might be financially, it may be in relationships, although I don't see a ton of relationship energy here. We only have one court card. Oh no, we have two, the Knight of Swords and the King of Pentacles. So it could be connected to an air sign or an earth sign, but it's almost like there's something that you have to part with here. And I think that you will fully part with this by May, probably. Along with that, you have the Five of Wands, which is a conflict, potentially, like a challenge or a struggle. But it says that you're battle ready. Like you are ready to take on the battle in front of you. There is a battle, but you're ready to take it on. Okay? Now, what's interesting here is there's the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune with the Knight of Swords is like a lucky strike. Okay? It says when, especially because you have the Knight of Swords next to it, when the wheel spins in your direction, you want to go for it, right? The example I always give, if you've been watching me for years, is, you're in the train station, the train of your destiny has arrived. Are you going to choose to get on the train or stay in the station? That's the idea here with the Wheel of Fortune. You can stay in the station and that is fine, but you can also choose to investigate where your destiny is going. And that represents the Wheel of Fortune. The thing is, the train always keeps moving, the wheel keeps spinning. Right? So it says that you have a window of opportunity here in April, despite the challenge, to turn this situation around, to even get a little lucky. But you have to work at the gut level, the instinctual level. When it comes in, when you recognize it, the cards are saying to go for this opportunity. So your destiny here is flashing with the Wheel of Fortune in April. I think that you're probably struggling with something that's been going on probably in the first quarter of the month, the first part of the month, or sorry, the first quarter of the year. So January, February, March. You may have been, there may have been something that you've been struggling with. In the month of May, you have the Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. So the idea is that the Five of Swords is something that it's not over yet. It's a loss. It's something that may be leaving, but it's not over. The Ten of Swords, it's over. Okay, the Ten of Swords is done, dead, over with. It's over when you get the Ten of Swords. Typically, though, it's a blessed ending because the Ten of Swords releases you from something that is no longer serving you, that's no longer in alignment with your destiny here, as you have the Wheel of Fortune, especially in this reading. Okay, so I think by May, you will fully, and certainly by June, you will fully integrate and work through whatever is falling out here, Scorpio. Okay, especially because we have the Ace of Swords. You do have swords in this reading. Swords, is known to be maybe one of the more challenging suits in the tarot, but swords, at a different level, it does connect with your communication, your intellect, your mind, as well as air signs, of course. And I think that there is a swift opportunity here come May to work through this ending with the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Swords. I think some of you are getting on the train, right? I think you're going to investigate your destiny. I think you're not going to wait any longer, and you're going to move in this new path. Now, what's nice here is you have the Eight of Pentacles. So this could very well be around work timelines, career work timelines. This person here is so dedicated that they are working late into the night. This card represents dedication in the tarot, but typically dedication to their craft, to their job. It also can talk about like working with your hands, as you see here. But this person here is decorated. You see all of the projects above them, on the ceiling above them, right? They have diligently worked hard and built solid skills. It's one of the high skill cards in the tarot. It's very, very good energy for progress in career and in work. This may even suggest that you could be undertaking an apprenticeship, or you could have an apprentice that works under you as well. So it can be a nice indicator of a raise as well, a job raise. I do see a new start, though, by June, so why don't we just move forward and look at June here. You have the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. So the reason I feel very strongly that by May, certainly by June, you'll integrate through the loss here, whatever is falling out. The clarifications I think are going to help us see what this might be. But the reason I feel like that is because the Ace of Swords is really a new beginning. So as this swords cycle here with the Five of Swords, the Ten of Swords indicating a completion. As this happens here, the Ace of Swords says that you are getting this fresh start, and it's also a breakthrough, okay? And the Ace of Swords can also refer to victory in the tarot. It's victory, it's success, it's a breakthrough, and it's the idea of like the clouds clearing. It can even be a like an epiphany type energy, especially as you have this with the Knight of Swords. There's actual like when you look at the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Swords, there's motion, okay? There's like a swift, like motion type of, yeah, there's motion when you look at these cards, right? In the tarot. And so things are going to be progressing very quickly, particularly after April, I would say. But in April, there's a destined opportunity here with the Wheel of Fortune between maybe the chaos, between maybe something challenging. The Seven of Wands says that you should really, the card is saying here that you should really draw your line in the sand, dig in, and investigate this new beginning if this is something that you are so feeling destined and called to do. Because basically it says don't back down. There may be competition present, although I'm not seeing a ton. We just have two court cards. But I think this is more about like you making an agreement with yourself that you are actually going to do this. You're going to investigate this, that you'll start this new beginning here by June probably, and maybe even before that. The King of Pentacles, this is the idea of that like it's about your routines in life. The King of Pentacles can represent your routines, you know, what you do in the morning, how you progress throughout the day, and how important our routine is. So some of you I see maybe improving your routine or adding or integrating into a new routine here over the next 3 months. And also it's the idea of that like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of energy, right? This person does the same thing day in, day out to bring them success. Why would they change anything if it's already bringing them success, right? So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the clarifications here. We'll start by pulling some oracle cards, and then we'll go from there, Scorpio. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have going on for you. All right, energy on the bottom. You have Mahavatar Babaji. Soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. So here's what's coming to mind for you as I look at that Mahavatar Babaji card. If some of you are like attached to a particular thing over the next 3 months, I think you're going to come to some level of healing. You're going to understand, maybe you're going to identify an attachment that you have. Attachments are very challenging to work through, but once you unlock that, like once this becomes an unlock for you, in other words, once you come to the realization that you are attached, it's very, very enlightening. And what I'm seeing here is with the Five of Swords into the Ten of Swords, the universe is saying that this needs to fall out. Okay, this situation, this timeline, it needs to move. You need to move beyond it, is what the universe is saying here. And I think that you may realize that you're attached to something in your life over the next 3 months. It will feel very enlightening when you see that. You then have hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. And then you also have Bridget, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Stepping into some personal power here, and also some self-love as well as we get these two cards, which is always a positive thing, especially when you maybe are dealing with some challenges here. Lastly, okay, we do have charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive, as well as Radha, soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship, harmony, and healing. Maybe it is connected to a relationship here. Let's see. I was looking to see, like, what could this separation be around? What is it the universe is trying to ask you to detach from? Maybe it is. We don't have any other relationship energies, really. So why don't we go ahead and try to get some clarity here. We'll start by pulling some additional we'll move on to pull some additional tarot cards. Now, Scorpio, once again, I do hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good. And I do read all of the comments. So drop a comment to let me know what you think about how this reading is resonating for you. All right. You have the Nine of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so the Ten of Swords is coming in again here. Ten of Swords with the Five of Wands. It's not really, usually I look at like the card that it's falling on. In this case, it's not as important as the fact that it's in this column. And the reason I say that is because in April, the universe is asking you to look at this. Five of Swords, Ten of Swords. Remember, we start with the five and then we move into the 10. Well, now that we have this clarification happening here, with the Ten of Swords, the universe is going to say in April, like, hey, Scorpio, it's time to let go of this. I'm not sure that you will because you're resistant, okay? You have energy of resistance here with the Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands. You will by, at the very least, June, maybe even in May. But there's something that the universe is really trying to tell you here in April. The Nine of Wands is a card of resistance. This person is sort of weary, they're tired, but they realize, maybe they don't realize, but really they're basically at the finish line. The Ten of Wands would come next, right? And as we have a 10 with this, 10 of Swords, and then we have it in the second column, you are coming into a completion here. And it's almost like through, whatever format, whatever medium, the universe is going to keep trying to show you this, whether this is through repeating numbers such as 444, 222, 111, or this is through song lyrics, or this is through your dreams, or whatever it may be. The universe is trying to speak to you in whatever medium it comes through that something needs to be removed here. Like something needs, the falling out needs to happen, right? The ending needs to happen, all right? And this might be around, and it's simply, if this is your reading, because you are attached to something. You have the Seven of Wands again, so this is energy of competition. And but remember I said probably in this case, more so standing your ground. You feel like really inspired to investigate this Wheel of Fortune, this destiny that's in front of you. And the Seven of Wands is saying like, go for this, right? Don't back down on investigating whatever opportunity is being put on your plate, specifically in April, Yeah, let's see what else we have here. You have the Page of Wands, amazing. Okay, so that's a really good combination. You have the Four of Wands, and you also have the Four of Swords. Well, let me tell you, with the Page of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles, that's an incredible combination for those of you who are seeking employment. Really good combination here. All right, the Page of Wands can indicate a job offer or career opportunity. It's the one card I look for. I mean, there are a few, but it's really one of it's the biggest card I look for those of you who are looking to get a new job, because it's an offer or opportunity in the career area of the tarot, which is the Suit of Wands. All right, this can also represent an offer or opportunity to move somewhere as well, as Wands can also connect to travel. Particularly the Knight of Wands would be around moving residence, but we'll see if the Knight of Wands comes in, but that can also come forward. It can be an offer or opportunity to start your own business as well, as you have the Eight of Pentacles there, And again, Eight of Pentacles, it can be maybe about raises, but progress in your career. Like it's an indication that things are going well in your career. And so maybe this separation is you're being headhunted, like you have a new opportunity at a different employer. And maybe this is why this is going on. You have to separate from your previous place, previous place of employment, and move into this new place. Or, maybe it is around, maybe your career stuff's going well and nothing's changing there. And there's something else in your life that you are being called on to separate from. You have the Four of Wands in the middle here, which is a card of marriage, really. It's one of the biggest indicators of marriage in the tarot with the Knight of Swords. There may be an event, if you are already married, connected to your partner, your significant other. There may also be something that catches you off guard or something that is surprising here around your love story. The thing is, what I like is that you also have the Four of Swords here, which the Four of Swords is, the Four of Swords says that you are going to be healing from any sort of heartbreak or separation. You actually see the Three of Swords on the banner above this person. This person is healing from the heartbreak, the challenge of the Three of Swords. So I like that this is with the Ten of Swords because I think probably, definitely by June, but probably by May, whatever is closing out for you, whatever's ending here, you'll find the right way to process this and work through this, if this is your reading. So we have the Seven of Swords again, challenging. You have the King of Pentacles, and you have like twice. And then you have the Six of Cups. So there may be somebody from your past that's trying to come back in. This could be an earth sign, for sure. But I think what's actually happening here is be mindful of falling back into old patterns. As you have the Six of Cups with the King of Pentacles. Again, remember, the King of Pentacles can indicate your routine, your daily habits, your routine in life. And yeah, I would say be careful of falling back into old patterns, habits, or routines here. I think what's happening here is the universe wants you to start a new routine. As you have the Ace of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. And yeah, like to really turn that part of your experience around. And I also think that some of you are having to fight for a job or fight for a career opportunity, maybe even a raise, as the King of Pentacles is there with the Seven of Wands. You do have the Seven of Swords again. I think this is about strategizing in this case. The first one I think might be like you dealing with a challenging person. I always do say like Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords, that can be around colleagues as well that you have to set boundaries around. But you might be setting some boundaries here, okay? But I do think you need to strategize around your routines as well. On the bottom, you have the Empress, which is the mother in the tarot. So this could very well be connected to a family matter. But it's also a major card of abundance. So the bottom card can sometimes be like what you're not seeing or what's hidden, just like the bottom row here. And so the idea is that perhaps there are signs of abundance here as you really fully detach from something. So I like that for you. Let's go ahead and let's also see what is going on in the Kipper energies and go from there. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have. Okay, you have imprisonment. You have imprisonment, house, community, expectation, wealthy man, and pathway. Like that card for you. Pathway can indicate 3 to 6 months in the future. It's your dharma, basically. It's the path that you're supposed to be on in this lifetime. It's sort of like you could think of almost like your North Node if you're familiar with astrology. It's like the universe is always going to try to pull you towards, or you're always going to be pulled towards your dharma or your North Star, your North Node, right? Destiny. It does indicate 3 to 6 months, which, I think by June, something big's happening for you. Like, I think this cycle, this timeline here that's maybe been challenging is closing out. And I think probably, let's see here, probably, I'm feeling like August. You'll look back on the summer if it's summertime where you live. And you'll be pretty happy about the progress you've made, particularly as you have the Eight of Pentacles. I see some of you may be moving house or selling a house. Like you may be moving your residence as well. You feel a little trapped about something, but the universe here, as you have that imprisonment card, but the universe is asking you to investigate this new destined opportunity. Thank you so much. You do have the coffin on the bottom, which is basically like the Ten of Swords. Something's like coming to a close for you. Thank you so much for being here, Scorpio. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will certainly be talking to you again soon.